Introduction. Apply family of function make it more easily to apply a function to a dataset. In this lesson, we will learn four types of apply family function. Number one, apply. Number two, lapply. Number three, supply. And number four, tapply.
I am Rais. I will tell you more about apply family of function. So apply functions are a family of functions in base R which allow you to repetitively perform an action on multiple chunks of data. An apply function is essentially a loop, but run faster than loops and often require less code. So the reason why we learn this lesson, which is apply family of function, is to be able to vectorize arguments to a function that is not usually accepting vectors as arguments. In short, mapply applies a function to multiple lists or multiple vector arguments. So for the next one, I will explain to you for the methodology, which is I will define to you the four function that we use in this programming, which is apply function, and apply function as apply function and the apply function. So for the first function, which is apply function, it has specific arguments to the function, and for the first argument, which is object, it can be used through matrix or data frame or array, and for true dimension, it can specify it through row for the first one, and for the second one, we can through the column. And the function that we use, we can that we want to apply can be applied such as mode, min, max, sum, and minimum. The main difference between an apply function and an apply function is the output, which is the output for apply function is on the list. So for the first argument for apply function is list, data frame, and vector, and the function also the same as the apply function that we can use it function that we want to apply, and it has also specific arguments to the function. So for the third function is as apply. So we can input the vector, list, and data frame as an object for this function, and then we also can specify a function, and then we can have an additional function. So the difference between sapply and the previous function, which is lapply, is this output can be simplified if possible. In other words, the output will be written as a vector, matrix, or a list instead of a list only. So for the next function is tapply. So for this function, we can input an object, usually vector, to which we want to apply a function. And then the next argument is the index. The index is typically a vector, which is the same length as x that contains vectors used to subset x. And then the next one, as usual, we indicate the name of the function that we want to apply to each of the subset of x. And then, as always, we can specify any arguments of the chosen function at the end.
Okay, now I will explain about how to use apply in Art Studio. Okay, now we go to the Art Studio. Okay, now we use iris data that have in the Art Studio. Okay, now we run, and you can see that this is data iris. That's so many, so long, and that will difficult to you to calculate. Okay, now we use Art Studio. About apply, okay, Now we don't want the specific species column, so we should remove the column. Okay, we s equal, okay, iris sat 1 colon 4, because we just want simple length, simple y, petal length, and petal y. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 column only. Okay, we run. Okay, and we write X and run again. Okay, now you can look at the screen that no species column. Okay, now, okay, if your boss want yourself want to calculate the mean of the column or the mean of the row, okay, we should use apply the name of the data. Okay, now the name of the data, not iris. The name of data is X. Okay, comma, and we want a column or row. Okay, if we want column, we should write number 2. Okay, if you want a row, you should write the number 1. Okay, now we look at the row first. Okay, so we write number 1, comma, and we want mean of the row. Okay, we write mean. Okay, and we run. Okay, now you can see the mean of the row. Number 1. Okay, okay, number 1, 5.1 plus 3.5, 1.4, and plus 0.2, and you divided by 4. Okay, and we got 2.550, and so on for others row. Okay, now we go to the mean of the column. Okay, we write the apply. Okay, X the name of data. Okay, and row. Okay, now we want the column, so we should write number 2 and mean again and run. Okay, now you can see that the mean of sepale 5.54, sepal y mean 3.05 or 06. Petaling, the mean of petaling is 3.7576. Okay, and the mean of petal y 1.19. Okay, okay, now you got the mean of the sepal sepal y, lepa, and so on. So you don't calculate one by one because it's difficult, and you can use the Art Studio. Okay, now if you want the maximum number from the row first. Okay, now we should write apply again. Oh, sorry. Apply the names of data x, comma, number row. Row is number 1. Okay, comma again, and we want maximum number. Okay, we should write max. Okay, and run, and you can get 5.1 maximum for row first. Okay, we look at the data. Okay, the maximum number for row 1 is 5.1. and others is small. Okay, row 2, the maximum number is 4.9. Okay, we look at the result. And yes, row number 2 is maximum number is 4.9. And so on for the others row. Okay, we want maximum number for column 2. Okay, apply x, comma, column is number 2. Okay, so we want max number. Okay, run. Okay, for the number for the sample length, the maximum number is 7.9. Maximum number for the sample wide is 4.4, and maximum number for petal length is 6.9, and maximum number for petal length wide is 2.5. Okay, that's all for the apply. Okay, now I will explain about l'apply. Okay, l'apply same with the apply, but l'apply more efficient and beautiful, and l'apply don't have specific margin, and it always work. Okay, now I will use Art Studio. Okay, will use iris data again. Okay, iris data, and I want clear the column, or I will remove the column spaces again. Yes, X iris C 1 colon 4. Okay, okay. Now the species column was removed. Okay. Now, first I will use apply first. Okay. Apply as to mean. Okay. Okay. That's output display the mean of the sepal length, sepal wide, petal length, and petal wide. Okay. Now I will use the apply. Apply. Okay. Apply X and mean. Okay. Now we can look at the output that is more efficient than apply. That, and you can see the difference about apply and apply. And the simple length same, the mean of the simple length of apply and apply same, and so on for the others factor. Okay, now I will use maximum number. Okay, now I will apply s and max. Okay, now you can look at the output that the maximum number of the sepal lane in the in the column of sepal lane is 7.9, for the sepal y 4.4, and so on for the petal length and petal y. Okay, now I will use the character of the iris data. Okay, now we look at the iris data. Okay, iris data, or y c, sorry, iris. Okay. C number 5, because the species column that will be that I removed before is column 5. So okay, you look at the okay. Now the character of the species is we have the Sentosa, Versicolor, and Virginica. Okay, so I apply the character T character in the iris data. Okay, now Z, we should Z. Oh, sorry. Z T Sentosa Versicolor, uh, oh, sorry, Versicolor and Virginica. Okay, now does that show Sentosa, Versicolor, and Virginica? Okay, now we how okay now the question is how the numbers of the Sentosa, Versicolor, and Virginica. Okay, and we should use Laplace. Okay, this is now Z, and the function that we want use is n character because we want the number of the character. And okay, error because that see okay sorry. Okay, now we look at the number of the character for the Sentosa is 7, and number of versicolor is 10, and number of character Virginica is 9. Okay, so on that for the Laplace. Okay, now I will explain about the supply. Okay, supplies is same with the Laplace, just the arrangement of the outputs is different for the between the Laplace and supply. Okay, now we go to the R Studio, and first we write code for the Laplace first. Laplace adds me. Okay, sorry, Laplace. Uh, sorry. Okay, Laplace. Okay, now we look at the mean of the sapling y in the horizontal. Okay, now we look at the supply. Supply is supply as mean. Okay, now we look at the output of the supply. The mean of sapling y, petaling, and petal y. The output was in the vertical. Okay, now we look some example again for the supply. Apply first. Apply. We use okay. Apply Z Z and enter. Okay, we look at the number of the character Sentosa, Versicolor, and Virginica is 7, 10, and 9. And we look at the supply. Supply Z and okay. Now we look at the Sentosa 7, Versicolor is 10, and Virginica is 9. So it's more the beautiful for the Laplace from the Laplace, and supply was good sometime, and that's all for the supply. Thank. Okay, lastly, I will explain about the supply. Okay, supply is how you want to calculate the function that the data has the numbers and the character in the same time. Okay, now we go to the R Studio. Okay, we use iris data. Okay, iris data. Okay, and we look at the table of the iris data that have the numbers and the character. Now how to we calculate the mean of the pathway with the character of the Sentosa and Versicolor and Virginica. Okay, now we just apply the apply. I okay. The vector is beta y. Okay. We should use iris. Sine dollar beta y. The index is iris sine dollar species. Okay. Species. And the function we want the mean of the beta y. Okay. Now we run. Okay, we look at the output that the mean of the Sentosa in beta y is 0.246 and the mean of the versicolor 1.326 and the mean of the beta y in Virginica is 2.026. Okay, and if I want the mean of the sapling, okay, and we write the same thing. Okay, iris sine dollar the sepal we just should click underneath comma iris sorry iris sine dollar and we want the species okay mean again. Okay, and the output should apply the mean of the sapling. Okay, now if I want the maximum number in the sepal y, okay, but I want the maximum number in sepal y with the character if the character Sentosa, Versicolor and Virginica. Okay, now we just write the apply column. Okay, iris sine dollar sepal y with comma iris okay sine dollar again and we choose species and maximum sorry okay and the output was display the maximum number of the Sentosa in sepal width is 4.4 and maximum number for versicolor in sepal width is 3.4 and maximum number for Virginica 3.8. And that's all for the apply. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Amirul Hakim bin Ghazali. So next I will continue on explaining the conclusion of using family function in R. We have seen some variations on the same theme, which is acts on structured set of data in a repetitive way. In this sense, these functions can be seen as an alternative to loops and as a vectorized form of doing things. Vectorized here in the loose sense, we won't enter the debate as if and which of the apply functions are truly vectorized or not. In practice, in order to choose which apply function to use, we need considering four types of four kind of things, which is the first one is the data type of the input, which is this is the object we will act upon like vector, matrix, array, list data frame, or perhaps a combination of those. Second one is what we intend to do, the function we pass. The third one is the subsets of that data, which is rows, columns, or perhaps all. And the last one is what type of data do we want to get from the function because we might want to perform further operation on it, and we want a new object, or do we want to transform the input object directly? These are quite general questions, and we may ask for the help of related functions like aggregate by sweep. Also, as is very common in R, there may be equivalent way of doing the same things, especially because of the large amount of libraries nowadays available. For example, libraries like PLYR and especially DPLYR with the very useful DDPLYR function. So next I will explain the benefits of using family function in R. The apply family of function is a built-in family which appears with the built-in package in R. It is already installed in it. It allows us to manipulate data frames, vectors, arrays, and many more. It works more effectively than loops and also gives better performance from them, which is faster at the execution level. It reduces the need for explicitly creating a loop in R. So next I will explain on benefits of each function that available in R. So the first one is apply function. It helps to apply a function or rows or columns of a data frame. Second one is lapply function. It takes a list as an argument and apply a function to each element of the list by looping. The third one is sapply function. It is more advanced version than lapply. However, it works same as lapply. It also takes a list as an argument and applies a function to each element of the list by looping. The only difference is in output generalization, where lapply returns a list as an output every time, sapply returns certain algorithm as output. And the last one is the apply function. It can be applied to vectors and factors, the data which contain different subgroups, and we have to apply a specific function on each subgroup. That time we can use it. So that's all for me. Thank you very much.